Good day. Welcome. This is your Daily Med with a Lady B. Grace and peace be multiplied. Today we look at Philippians chapter 4, verse 10 through verse 13. It says, "But I rejoice in the Lord greatly, that now at the last your care for me hath flourished again, wherein ye were also careful, but ye lacked opportunity. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need." Verse 13 says, "I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me." Here is the Apostle Paul saying to the Philippians, "I am content and I am strong, whether I have for a feast or whether I find myself in famine." The Apostle Paul was able to experience contentment because Christ abided in his heart. The Holy Spirit, as we will say, and he empowers him, as verse 13 of Philippians 4 tells us. He says he would be contented in any and all circumstances of life. When we look at the Christians, we can say there are two kinds of Christians. The ones that are the thermometers. These are those whose satisfaction is totally dependent on their circumstances. So they just simple register the prevailing spiritual temperature. But then there is the thermostat Christians, those who the satisfaction is totally independent of circumstances, no matter what. Not only are they not affected by these circumstances, they themselves help to shape the circumstances. The Apostle Paul said he was contented, he had peace, because he could see life from God's point of view, not from his own perspective, but as it were through the lens of God. What is God doing for him? What is God saying to him? He focused on what was supposed to do. He was supposed to do. And of course, that benefited him. Not what he felt he should have, but he was satisfied with what he had. Paul had his priorities straight and his mind in the right place on the right things, as he previously told us in verse 8 and 9 of Philippians chapter 4. He was grateful for everything God had given unto him. He had detached himself from the non-essentials so that he could concentrate on the eternal. So often we desire for more, for bigger as human beings, and for better possessions. And in the commercial world, we see it happening every day. Bigger and bigger, and better and better. But does it really satisfy our longing? Does it really fulfill the empty place in our lives? Many times we are drawn to these things, but yet we still feel empty inside, even when we acquire the bigger and the better. So, how can we find true contentment? The answer lies in our perspective and in our priorities. And where do we find or get our source of power? Verse 13 tells us, I can do all things through Christ who strengthen me. Can we really in and of our own do all things? The power that we receive is in union with Christ. And when Christ is our priority, yes, his grace and his power is sufficient to do his will and for us to face the challenges that arise from our commitment to doing it. God does not grant us a supernatural ability just to accomplish any and everything that we so desire. We can imagine without regards to his interest. And remember, his interest should be first. So when we desire all different kinds of things, not paying attention to what he desires, then we do not necessarily have the power to do all things. So let us remember his interest should be priority. As we contend for the faith, we will face troubles. We will have pressures. We will have trials as they come. When we submit to God, depend on him, have peace, meaning we are contented with what God is doing in our lives, even the difficult things, when we can at least see through his lenses, then we can ask God to strengthen us, and surely he will. The apostle tells us today that he has peace, he is content, he is strong, whether there is a lot or whether there is nothing. God bless you. Thank you again for watching. Please subscribe, it is free. Like, share, also comment. And don't forget to visit my YouTube channel, Daily Med with Lady V.